Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster. Could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain.
Is that a love that need of love today? The lyrics has gone away.
Not
there it is.
ruining
Okay.
my goddamn song.
I'm going to go back because the screen moved. Is that a love that need of love today?
Don't delay. Send yours in right away. No, you're fucking fired.
Take it. Go ahead.
What? Whoa.
Blame Apple. Blame them.
Whoa.
If they would have windows like real people, then I could get through this shit.
Whoa.
I'm trying to like focus on you and then oh, I see how today is gonna go.
Fired. Both of us.
Technology has been failing me all week. Hey everybody, welcome back to the fucking show about nothing. It's Jade and XD. Apparently, I'm XD and I had a stroke in the middle of
toast.
The beginning of this episode.
Who smells toast?
I gotta get my affairs in order like Justine, okay?
Justine.
I shouldn't joke about that. I shouldn't joke about that.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
actually,
no,
because
no.
I'm not even like knowing you. It's just like, anyway. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome, friends and family. And,
to the
and
most
foes.
chaotic intro we've ever had in almost 11 years. Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. We forget
probably,
everything.
Yeah. It is what it is. But yes, welcome back to the Black Show About Nothing. Without further ado, let's get this party on the road and let's hit it with Jade's news updates.
Yes. So as of this recording, we are on day 366 of the ongoing genocide in Gaza. 1 full year. 1 full year it has been. And it's less of an update today and more of an acknowledgement of what we have witnessed for the past year. Speaking for myself, I can say, we have joked for years about not marching for niggas, but also, you know where we have actually always stood and always acknowledge the fucked up system that we live in and how that affects us as Black people, as queer people, as women, as trans people, as all types of marginalized folks, right? Like, this is not new to us. It's very true to us. But I can say for myself over the past year that I've never witnessed anything as devastating, as heartbreaking, as mind-boggling, as maddening, as horrific, as heavy as what we have seen. And I will never be the same again. Like, I will never, ever be the same again. I have to intentionally find threads of joy. This show being one of them, and recording this show with one of my, best friends, soulmates, you know, and my child and so forth and so on. But I will never, ever be the same ever again. And while this is a year of this iteration of what we know, it is years and years and years of history. It's been a lot of learning. It's been a lot of understanding. It's been a lot of awakening, even knowing how fucked up our system is, just going back and thinking, we talk about nostalgia all the time and watching old shows and listening to music and things that like bring us back to our prime when, we were blissfully ignorant and having a blast. I always knew, white people was white people and government was governing. But, even in that nostalgia, I had to reflect and say, think about all of the narratives that have been force-fed to us over our whole lives, from, a lack of real true history as to how this country was founded, a lot of sugarcoating and extreme whitewashing. But when you think about all of the things, even my birthday is 9/11. Think about how often we kept hearing the war on terror, Al Qaeda, Taliban, insurgents, so forth and so on. And it's like, y'all will fuck up your own people just to continue your narrative that really is nothing but hate and power, thirst for power, and murder and delusion. Because the people who are still spewing rhetoric about beheaded babies, shifting numbers as to how many people were killed at this festival, and let's be very clear, peace to anybody who's killed and harmed in violence, right? But also, them people are crazy. And I'll say it. You're inconsistent and you've got 3 points and you all have stuck to these same lame fucking 3 points for the last year, thinking that niggas' eyes, minds, common sense does not, emotions, human empathy does not work. And niggas' eyes are open. They're open. More than we already knew. They're open to the lengths that you all will go. And I just want to say, in this year of watching the worst thing that we've ever seen, the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza, the people of Rafah are a resilient people who don't deserve the treatment that they've had for, honestly, decades at this point. And we want to remember that there's Black Palestinians there. So for anybody who's like, well, why does this, we've talked about how this affects you, but in case you're still asking that same stupid ass question, there's Black Palestinians. Like, they exist and they matter, but everybody exists and matters, and nobody deserves this level of oppression and destruction. Anybody who can kill animals, babies, and burn fucking trees is an animal themselves. I think animals that's actually not fair to animals. That's not fair to animals. You all are demons. This is demonic what we're watching. And for those who still want to use one of them same lame points of self-defense. So it's self-defense in Yemen, Iraq, Iran, Palestine, Saudi, parts of Saudi that are coming eventually, although I got thoughts on that. Parts of Egypt, all of what they're planning to take and are literally currently raining down bombs on now. You mean to tell me that's all self-defense? You can go to motherfuck. That's where you can go. May your whole fucking blood clot line rot for what you wish on these people, and for watching this with your own eyes and choosing to act like it's not real. I got no fucking respect for you. But I do love everybody who I've learned that I'm in community with this past year, whose eyes have also been open. And they will never see life the same again, which comes with a level of heaviness. But this is what it is. If it's heavy for you to think about, if it's heavy for you to watch, if it's heavy for you to feel, imagine what it is to live in that. So we're at a full year of that. And this is it. There's no going back from this. There's no more burying your head in the sand. We're also on day 543 of the ongoing genocide in Sudan. Famine was declared in a camp that houses more than 5,000 people. So the things we've been talking about were pending are here. There was an SAF airstrike on Al-Hassaisa, Jazeera State, claiming around 100 lives, including children. RSF shelling in the Abu Shak camp in El Fashir, North Darfur, claiming tens of civilian casualties. Big airstrikes in North Darfur, killing 59 civilians and injuring more than 200 in a strike. And a report by Doctors Without Borders indicates that mothers and children are dying at alarming rates in South Darfur. So there is an initiative, and again, that information will be in the description box, called Black October. We talk about Pink October and breast cancer awareness, which is very important. Black October focuses on raising awareness for the suffering that women in Darfur are facing. Remember, we've talked about sexual assault. It's rampant among women and children specifically. On top of, think about all of the health awareness that we need here. They're not just facing famine. They're not just facing destruction of their homes. They're not just facing displacement. They are also facing extreme health risk and no chances of being able to do anything about that. So we will have information in the description box on how you can look into Black October and raising awareness for that. And we also have links for how you can continue to help on the ground in all through the Middle East, because at this point, it is, like I said, it has spread into Lebanon, into Yemen, into Iraq, into Iran. And so we want to continue to pay attention. A year going by does not mean that we should get complacent with taking in our information, but take care of yourselves while you take in that information. We also, I literally for the past 2 weeks, I keep meaning to mention this and I kick myself after I'm done. The victims of Hurricane Helene, we send a lot of love. We don't know if any of our listeners have been affected, but we can only imagine. And there are also many initiatives I've shared online, but we will share in the description box on how you can help those who have faced the destruction of Hurricane Helene, specifically in North Carolina and parts of Georgia, I believe, as well. We also have Hurricane Milton, which is supposed to hit on this recording as of tomorrow. And so, which is all of the west coast of Florida. So we want to keep our community in our prayers, but also keep our eye on the ground so that if there are ways that we can assist to send aid, we are able to do that. But if y'all don't think climate change is a real motherfucking thing at this point, I don't know what to... I don't think we could ever discuss anything ever again. The coral reefs are bleaching themselves out. The temperatures in the ocean are too hot for the fucking animals. It is you got hurricane behind hurricane. Yes, it's hurricane season, but to have category 4s and 5s back to back like this, we don't have nothing to talk about if you can't acknowledge that climate change is a thing. And I don't even know how to help fix that. I continue to recycle, but nigga, we are on the edge of glory at this point. And you keep dropping nuclear motherfucking bombs all over the world. That's not just killing people. That's not just destroying land. It's destroying the fucking earth too. So they are committing murder. This is genocide. This is also destruction of a precious earth. There is nothing holy or chosen about nobody on this planet who has a problem desecrating the entire earth for the sake of their own nasty ass agenda and rhetoric. I'm done.
Well,
go to hell.
Oh boy. Yeah, peace to those who are struggling here, who are victims of the hurricane. This hurricane is the largest on Earth ever recorded, or the 5th largest ever recorded. But that also makes me wonder, with current technology, if this is actually the big one, because it's like, what were they doing in 1924? Just like licking their finger,
Please don't.
But I'm sorry. But anywho,
why are you?
Let us know if you're impacted and let us know what we can do.
I just looked up the deadliest mainland hurricanes.
I want to say it was Hurricane Andrew.
No, number 1, the deadliest is the Great Galveston Hurricane of 1900 that claimed 8,000 lives.
But how would they know? You get what I mean? Like, who wrote that down?
They got a pen. They got a pen and paper quill. They can there was some pigeons.
Calligraphy. They had to do calligraphy.
Messages in bottles.
That's a lot of work. I don't trust it.
Number
I feel
2
like right now
was Lake Okeechobee in Florida. 1928 claimed 2,500 lives, and then number 3 is Katrina.
Yes. And what's wild is that Katrina was only a Category 3 hurricane, and we're past 5. I was watching the Weather Channel today, and they were talking about how there should be another category, right? Because what we're seeing now is way past
off the charts,
157 miles per hour wind speed. So, and we're up to like 180, almost 200. Almost as fast as a goddamn car. Jesus Christ. Be safe.
Yeah.
Don't be a hero either. Get to some safety. I understand we all want to hold on to our homes. We've worked very hard, to earn and get and all that good stuff. But goddamn it, it's no point of saving the home if you can't be alive to live in it.
No.
So please get safety. Get somewhere. Get somewhere. Safe.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I have some political news for you today. I haven't had any in a while, but it's entertaining.
Oh, okay. I was like, suddenly I have diarrhea, but okay, go ahead.
Let's go back to Chicago.
Oh, lawless.
I don't have a Tiffany Henyard update. She's still struggling trying to find coin to pay off her, her eviction.
That bitch is too busy. She's on Poshmark right now trying to sell off everything. Okay, like she's too busy. We don't have time for her. Never. Okay, go ahead.
So, the Chicago School Board. I talked about this a few months ago, and how they're changing the processes and moving to an elected board, or hybrid, half elected, half appointed by the mayor. So the teachers union, the Mayor Brown, is a former educator. He also used to work for the teachers union. That's honorable, right? Here are some things that are going on. The teachers union wants a pay raise.
Okay.
And more protections for retirement. The
As they
problem
should.
is that the Chicago Public School Board is about $1 billion in deficit, right? The by hook or crook, we don't know how that. I don't know how that happened. I can assume I know how that happened,
Okay.
but whatever. So the new mayor, who again, former educator, used to work for the union, wants Chicago Public Schools to take out a $300 million high interest payday loan.
wait.
So that right, so that they can fund the things that the teachers union want, like raises and shit like that, right?
Okay.
So when you hear payday loan, you're like, this sounds like niggas do, and it's exactly what it is. It is a payday loan.
Wait, you're not being funny?
No, I'm being very serious. Like he wants Chicago Public Schools to take out a payday loan for $300 million.
Hold on. So what happened to the bank? Like what? What happened?
Right.
Like I feel like so many steps. Like I feel like
there's so many.
flew.
But see, that's the thing, though. I said that too. I feel like there's got to be some other steps to like we don't have to go through like I want my money and I want it now.
No,
that kind
I
of
just
thing,
like. Right.
Payday loan
you
is
can't
jarring.
JG Wentworth the union. Like you can't you can't.
It's weird. So then the school board was like, no, we're not getting into any more debt, and especially not taking out a payday loan, nigga. Are you crazy? So then,
see, this is what happens when you hire your cousins to do shit.
Oh, but this was already existing school board, right? So then the other day, all like 7 of them motherfuckers quit. Like the whole entire school board resigned.
Now, an update to breaking news we first told you about at 4 o'clock. The entire Chicago school board, all 7 members, are stepping down.
Our Sabrina Franza is live at CPS headquarters with what we're learning about the resignations and what it means for Chicago public schools. Sabrina.
Don't know why.
I was like, why?
No one is. Everybody being tight-lipped, but because there is a lull between now and January where the elected board comes in, the mayor gets to appoint all of the school board members. This is important because the news and other constituents in Chicago are like, he's strong-arming the CEO of Chicago Public Schools.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. CEO is standing 10 toes down. I don't want no fucking payday loan. You're crazy, mayor. However, the school board can fire the CEO.
How is this a real suggestion?
If the mayor can appoint the entire school board, and if all those people on the school board are working in the interest of the mayor, then you can assume that they're going to vote to remove the current CEO and implement this $300 million payday loan for teachers, right?
How is this a real suggestion? Wait, the mayor of Chicago?
I'm surprised Tiffany Henyard didn't. Yes, the mayor, the black ass mayor, and he went on a press conference and was like, "If y'all in my way, I might have to do what I got to do," and that's a direct quote.
Oh Lord, look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Brandon
he got
Johnson.
a curl too. Mm-hmm.
Wait, he has a curl? Okay, Lightfoot, you're out of here. Like, please. Mm-mm. Oh, he looks like a pastor.
Yeah. He looks. He looks. Yeah, he looks. He looks like a pastor who.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He's got shifty. His eye. Hold on.
A Willie McKay type of situation.
Shifty eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Shifty smile.
I also don't trust niggas that actively wear corduroys. It's a me thing. I know it's a problem.
I've got
just like I don't really trust niggas that wear bow ties. But hey,
that is fair. That is yes.
Unless you a stud, I don't trust it.
How do I feel about
listen,
that?
you got listen, stud. You got to give them something.
I don't know
right?
if I
You know,
trust it. No,
sometimes
I
you
don't know if
gotta-
I trust a stud with a bow tie either. Honestly. I don't think I trust anybody with a bow tie. Unless,
But anyway.
unless you're working, Mr. Belvedere.
Maybe, unless if you at like the AMC or something, I don't know, or like
What?
what
what year are you in right now?
They do have them still at like they still wear like the bow ties and things at some of them. When I went to go see Barbie, they had bow ties on, and that was like 2 years ago. Because I remember making a comment like, "Why the fuck are they wearing bow ties?"
Yeah, not here, not in lawless New York City.
Maybe it's because where I went, because I went to a whites only type of theater.
You see how they love when I tell you they just be trying
I went to Pasadena. Well, I saw it in West LA.
They want to
So,
relive the days of yore. Too bad. They probably made niggas wear white gloves too, didn't they?
They might have. I don't recall.
Oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. What's a trad wife?
Okay, I'll explain to you, but before I do that, why are you asking me what a trad wife is?
I will tell you why I'm asking you what a trad wife is after you explain to me what it is.
Okay.
I don't like questions.
A trad wife is short for a traditional wife. It is a lifestyle meme that was popularized through TikTok through women of a particular religion, the ones that have Stanley Cups.
Yeah. Okay.
They are reverting to the days of yore where they are hand making everything. Like a famous one is Nara.
Okay, all right.
And
yes.
so Nara trolls people because Nara is a high fashion model.
So I was about to get to that. Yes.
Yeah. So Nara,
this shifty nigga is looking at me. Let me close this window. I don't like this. Brendan Johnson, fuck out of here.
Oh, and I have more political news, but yes, this
is political.
Nara is. I can see that. So she makes these videos where she's hand making traditional things.
I know who she is.
Grocery store from scratch.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's make some lasagna from scratch. It was a gloomy day outside, so what better way to spend it than cooking a comforting meal? I started off by making my mozzarella cheese. I added some milk, citric acid, and ran it to my pot, let that sit, and then sliced it all up.
I'll tell you why now. Okay, thank you for clarifying that for me. I thought it was an acronym. And I wasn't sure. So I've seen her videos. Fabulous recipes, by the way, but then I've seen people making fun of her. And I realized after about 3 videos, I was like, oh, this lady is absolutely trolling the fuck out of y'all. And so many people are falling for it. Like, it's quite funny to me personally. If I ever saw her in person, I would be like, that, what you do? Incredible. That is the ultimate as a troll nigga.
Because she's doing this fabulous.
This is a fabulous. Yes, this is taking drag
too
far
butter.
in the best fucking way. Okay,
literally, because she's doing shit in Hermes, but she's churning butter. Right? You know what I mean?
And there's so much levels to stupid. I realize because then people will spoof her because they think she's serious, so they're making fun of her. But then the levels of stupid reaches deeper into the comment section because then other niggas come and they'll be like, you're corny being a black woman making fun of a black woman. And I'm like, well, the first black lady's making fun of all of y'all. So, but that's not
people.
Oh, go ahead.
There are people who seriously want or believe in being a trad wife. I was reading this Reddit story. Go ahead.
So what brought me to asking you this, and then I want to hear about this Reddit story, was I came across a black girl who is not well. I see it all in her eyeballs.
She's ill mentally.
Yes. Ill mentally, illmatically. She's because this bitch was picking cotton.
Oh, I know the video you're talking about.
And then she made a follow-up video, which I almost peed myself laughing just at the opening because she said, I'm the girl who went viral for picking cotton.
Yeah.
But as I delved a little
videos.
deeper, because I was hoping that maybe her tone gave me like, maybe this is jokes. And it still might be jokes, but it's just not a funny one. Because now you are
She says she found peace by picking cotton. Like
for her white husband, and her white husband has her she's milking cows and drinking the shit straight out the titty, and like how do we get there? Like, how does anybody like? I just can't comprehend.
At this rate, natural selection. Let them die.
You know how I feel about natural selection. It's underrated.
It's not just a move by Ric Flair. It is a scientific marvel. Okay,
underrated.
Let them eat cake. No, let them kill themselves.
Natural fucking selection. And I got okay. So go ahead.
So there was this Reddit story. There's this Reddit story I came across, and this guy and a girl relationship, dating, they've been together for a minute, but they're not married. This woman was like, me and my husband or me and my boo, we send each other memes, all the time. Like, look at this or whatever. But I'm finding him sending me a lot of Tradwife like videos. And she was like, at first it was a joke, like, LOL, look at this bitch. But then it turned into, oh, wow, she's really caring for her husband.
Care for this dick, nigga, and get out of my DMs.
Right. And so it got to the point where he like desired that from her. And she was like, let me tell you one good and goddamn thing. And what I'm not going to do is that. And so she asked the internet, like, am I weird for like saying no? And Reddit for the first time was like, no, that nigga's weird.
No, he's the asshole. First of all, he's passive aggressive because you tried to LOL. Isn't this funny? I want you to do this LOL. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this was never a joke. You always wanted this shit. You probably go in the bathroom and beat off to these bitches making bread. I am disgusted. I hope she left him.
And them incels, that's totally like, they're wholly into this shit. Like, that is, they all want to go back to the quote unquote natural order of things where, they could be abusive to their women and not get told otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, is that back talk?
Are you sassing me?
Is you sassing?
So funny.
It's. You know how we talk about
my friend Rasad.
It's so because it's
my friend Rasad would I'd be like, just a response, just like, nigga, what? He'd be like, are you sassing me, boy? And I'd be like, what? Like, oh my gosh.
Why would you use that?
White people hit hard, like with their racism.
Yeah, but little Jiminy Cricket, you can't tell me that's not motherfucking racist. I don't care.
No,
I don't care what you want to say it is. Don't send me no stories. Don't send me no folk tales. Jiminy Cricket means nigga. I don't care what you say in Mississippi, and so like I know it is. These niggas be trying to be racist all the time. All the time.
Exactly.
Oh, anyway.
But I have, before we go on, this is something I didn't know I would be able to do. I thought I would. We have come close, and I'm almost there. But yesterday, I got close to it. Or it happened. I put it on my stories. But for the first time, I got to cross somebody off my downfall list.
Oh my God! I had to close my phone after I looked at that. I couldn't. and then I came back and it was people asking, why is Jill Scott?
I did chuckle. And they were like, "Well, why you got beef with Jill Scott?" I was like, "Y'all didn't read."
No, I have beef with Jill Scott. I have beef with Jill Scott, but that's because she went into the Sable Collective in the first location, and she spun around like fucking Kenya Morris and never ever promoted the goddamn store.
What a loser.
What a loser. So I have she's not on my downfall list, but she's on bitch I'm watching you list. And I'm still gonna listen to some of your songs because they're good. But you're nuts.
Yeah. Exactly. But Sissy Houston passed away. The daughter of the mother of Whitney Houston.
The warden.
Yeah, warden, anti-gay, well, low-key anti-black.
CO.
But, Dion's enabler,
Yeah.
she passed on.
I wonder how, did Dion respond?
Oh, I don't know. She might have. I have her blocked because I don't.
Wait.
Because her niece runs her social media, and I don't like when young people be running shit for old people because they make it way too young for young people, and I'm like, this is not some shit she would say.
It was cute initially, and then
yeah.
And then when the element of mystery was there, because we know she can be a little spicy, but once it lost its appeal and its magic when you realize that there was a whiz.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the magic is gone when she figured out who the fuck the whiz is.
Yeah. Okay, Dionne Warwick's getting her own street in New Jersey. She's gonna be at Bell Theater in Kansas City as well, but she
needs her own cigarette.
The Warwick, yes, with hints of mint and rosemary.
Yeah. Well, for her it's menthol and rosemary, but yes,
maybe you snort it instead of smoking,
or with chamomile to remind her of memories of Burt Bacharach.
The combination of Burt Bacharach, composer, right. Hal David, lyricist, right. Dionne Warwick, singer, produced an incredible amount of hits. I could have read the whole thing.
They had a wonderful, sensational 12-year string of hits.
12-year string of hits.
I want to know about the interracial fucking back in the day.
I don't.
I do. I'm curious because it was banned. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know, I want to know about the outlaw. I want to know about the fucking prohibition era. Like, who was doing what they wasn't supposed? Who was doing who they wasn't supposed to be doing? Besides Richard Pryor. He was fucking white niggas. Yeah.
It was a nigga
in loving. I don't care nothing about them. All at the same time.
Jimmy Dean and Anna.
Yeah. Yeah.
They practiced a love that couldn't speak its name.
Okay. We've got bills to pay.
We do. We do. Thank you for listening each and every week. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Most importantly, we know that sometimes our episodes can be heavy with the news. However, it's necessary news. However, we understand that it could be triggering for some, especially those who live in other countries. So we have decided to put timestamps in so you can choose your own adventure. And that's everywhere you listen to this podcast, including YouTube. Speaking of, today think of it as tax-free day in New York City. Today is a free day. You can access the video version of this directly for free on YouTube. Normally, we provide it on behind a paywall, but today, because we're celebrating a brand new season of Life After Lockup,
tradition.
yes, traditionally we're tradwifing here, and we're giving you, the first episode free, and all the subsequent will be behind the paywall down on Patreon, which you should join. We have a wang dang motherfucking doodle down there. Shout out to y'all. Did not know y'all would bang with Black Ink Crew like that.
I mean, niggas went up.
I'm not mad at it. It was just something we watched on a whim, but I have something for us today. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So, I also, Patreon is where you can get exclusive things like the story I'm getting ready to tell XD about how I have a plan to build a core memory with Noah, but I will only share that there, so.
Okay. But yes, subscribe to us on Patreon. It's $9.99 and $12.99 respectively. $12.99 gets you everything and then some. $9.99 gets you everything, but you really want to sign up for the then some because the then some is very important.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us also for free on YouTube. We do 90-day fiance recaps. And before the 90 days, I watched the first episode.
That's what we're watching for the ABC show.
Oh, okay. I didn't finish it, so wonderful. But anywho, yes, and be sure to check the description box wherever you're listening to get all the news updates, all the links. I'm producing another podcast called If Mama Only Knew. Find their links in the link tree or in the description box wherever you're listening. It's a really good episode, really good show.
It is.
Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Jade and XD. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Brother Maxwell was kind of a nerd in high school.
Yeah, straight up, yo.
That's true, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Toe up from the flow up. Definitely.
Really? What do you mean nerd? Were you like the book nerd, or you just...
I was just like on my own thing.
And we're black. So, I have something else to tell you that I forgot to tell you.
What?
New York has a Tiffany Henyard, kind of.
Eric Adams, who?
Oh no, not him. Do you know who Jessica Rosado is?
That sounds very familiar, actually. Hold on.
Well, for those, I'll tell you. She was a former Bronx DA. She just got let go recently because
that's why.
Because she was trying to force her subordinates to vote for her in a fabulous 40 under 40 or fab over 40 beauty contest. So, like, the winner was supposed to receive, like, $40,000 of cash, a spacation, and to be featured in the magazine. And so, like, she kept harassing all of her coworkers and employees, like, via WhatsApp and family members. And, like, have you voted today? Like, emails and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And so the ethics board was like, no, you're pushing it, queen. You can't, now you're texting people.
On WhatsApp at that? I fucking hate WhatsApp. I'd report her off the strength.
Yeah. I only have WhatsApp because I have WhatsApp because I know my international friends use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Primarily. Or when Swade was a flight attendant. Mm-hmm. And so it was easy to talk.
Via WhatsApp. WhatsApp it works for certain things. I just hate it. But to harass your coworkers and your employees via WhatsApp is a different kind of That's a different kind of demonic.
Speaking of the Bronx, I was in Community with Candy Muse the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
I meant to say this in the beginning. Shout out to our friend, my low-key brother-in-law, Oliver Delgado, who
Yes.
is now the head of communications and things over at the LA LGBT Center. They held their second annual Latinx event, Queercé. So it's a quinceañera for queer people.
Okay.
And it was hosted by, again, Selena Estides.
I was wondering if...
a treat.
Okay.
I will say, meeting her and interacting with her, she was very misunderstood.
I can see
on
that.
The show.
I can see that.
And I thought about, I was talking to Chris about it, and I was like, RuPaul's television is designed for not her type of queen.
Absolutely. My only issue with Selena was the fashion
taste level. Yes.
Ill-fitting.
Yeah, there was a taste level there, but personality and that she also is very passionate. You know, she's a Latina from here. You know what I mean? Like, but it was very. You could tell, like, oh, you deserve better. Yeah. And Candy's a good time.
I'm sure. Sure. You know why?
And very professional.
I can see that too, because Candy continues to work, and there's a reason why Candy continues to work.
She on the E. She on the show with Tiffany Pollard.
Yeah, I saw. So Candy continues to work. When people continue to work like that, there is a reason why.
Yeah,
there is a reason. Yeah. So shout out to them, and shout out to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
But I went to the Maxwell. Nice oh, my bad.
Oh yeah, it was nice to be, to see, the Latinx community, because Latinx community, be celebrated and honored, especially here. It's LA.
Absolutely.
Hispanic
Heritage Month all day.
Yeah, I saw you were being an uncle.
I was. Speaking of Hispanic Heritage Month, I saw my Latinx primo Maxwell. Along with Jasmine Sullivan and a nigga from Indiana named October London. He does this.
That sounds like he'd be on Pop the Balloon, but that's just me.
You know what? He would absolutely be on Pop the Balloon. He would absolutely be on Pop the Balloon. We went as a sister group, and had to do some work that weekend, and Kia is not a big Maxwell fan. She's like, I know Maxwell music and I like what I know, but I just don't go pop on a whole Maxwell album. She became a believer that night. She understood the magic that is Maxwell. And it's not just his music. It's his aura. It's his energy. It's his personality. Like, Maxwell is a truly kind person. Like, in every iteration that I have interacted with him, seen him live, all of those things, he has never flipped the script. He has never varied from, and it's not fake. Like, that's genuinely who he is. So I just love seeing him, and to realize that this nigga's first album came out in 96. Yeah, that's when Urban Hang Suite came out. Urban Hang Suite was written in 94 and 95, but came out in 96.
Even still, for whatever reason, I was thinking like at least 98. But then I feel like that's when Coco Cure came out.
Right, exactly. Oh, of course. Of course you were. You were like, yes, from the highs to the lows. But no, 96 is when Urban Hang Suite came out. And so Maxwell has, that's almost 30 years in the game.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And still sounds incredible.
Sounds, moves, looks, like, just... he really is a treat.
You know what? Maxwell also makes age-appropriate music.
Very much so.
Because let me tell you who I am sick of, and I wish they would sit down. And I hate the fact, because I really love him, but Tank...
Oh, Tank does much. Tank does much.
Yeah, he does. He's the type to. I know he has like No.
What? He likes his booty hole lick?
Oh, he's told us that before.
But that's the thing.
No,
like,
I
it's
know
stuff like
he
that
has,
where I'm like, but for what? Like, I'm not shaming that you like your booty hole lick. I'm just trying to figure out why I know that now.
No, what I was gonna say, like, I know he wears like t-shirts that have like sexual suggestive things on here, like eater or something, and it's like the arrow pointing up, or you know what I mean, something corny or something like aggressively horny. You know, I just feel like because he gives like, and you don't have to be dirty, nigga. Like you were a talented, attractive man. But with a great musical podcast, but you up here making young fuck on nigga music with other weird fuck on niggas, and it's just weird.
Yes, yeah, they still be talking about licking people up and down. And,
yeah,
sir,
you could talk like you don't have. No, maybe it's a man problem because Smokey, right, when he came out with I want to eat your coochie, and you're like 87.
I wanna know your body like it was my own. Every part, a beautiful sight. I wanna sing.
My husband just bought a bowling shirt that's like lay the pipe mechanic or something. I don't know. It's a nigga thing. You know what I'm saying? They just be
okay. All right.
And I can't even call it like a cisgendered. Like, I think this is just like a heterosexual. You know what I'm saying? Because Kerok is a nigga who will also wear fashions such as those. So I just feel like this is just wrapped up in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what's funny? Before we get into them,
heterosexual
consciously, who I enjoy.
A treat.
Yes. He went to a masculinity conference, and it was actually put on by studs. And
that sounds like something he would do.
Right. And so he was talking about how he has a different understanding of what masculinity is, because masculinity is not just a male thing.
No.
And so he was talking about how if you truly practice masculinity, then maybe, we need to incorporate or include other genders, and not be excluded. And when I was watching Kerok in this episode 11, I was like, it is very inward of you to get a Mercedes as soon as you get out of prison.
They had that before he got
out. Oh.
Because that's what she was driving.
That I'm sure Kerok set up to pay for.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because remember, Kerok had business about himself. Even, let me tell you something about Kerok. Kerok stays with his ducks in rows, minus a few things. So, but you know what?
The marbles is the problem.
It's not
when they get too excited.
The problem is that Kerok has enveloped himself in misogyny.
And misogyny. Yeah.
So just swaddled himself and put a weighted blanket of misogyny on himself. Not necessarily in the harmful way, but it's practiced like misogynoir. So
let's take a break then, and let's get into life after lockup.
Yeah.
Let's hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Many of my girlfriends at this age are really, really not interested in sex. Whoever I talk to, they'd rather just forget about it. They would rather their husband didn't approach them. They would rather just forget about the whole thing. And it could be also a biological...
And we're black. Today, the reason why it's free everywhere is we're talking about life after lockup.
First episode,
it is
900th
a first episode. Yeah, don't ask what season are they on, because they lie and say it's season 5. But we all know that's
and
untrue.
They count stupid. So
and that's because they probably didn't realize what this was going to turn into, and so they just kind of just.
You're fucking welcome.
But anywho,
pay us what we owe, or you owe.
Yes, what you.
But we're gonna start off with Britney Boulevardes, aka La Sirenita, and Kerok, brother Kerok.
Brother Kerok, yes.
Do you know what La Sirenita is? Go Google
the
it.
Little Misses.
Mm-mm.
The Little Misses.
Mm-mm.
What am I looking for?
La Sirenita. Nita. Sorry.
Hold on. Spell this.
Sirenita. La Sirenita.
La niña enamorada de un humano.
Yes. Yo he de volver, debo formar parte de...
The Little Mermaid. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
As soon as she popped up on the screen, I was like, because we used to have to watch La Sirenita at my grandmother's house.
That's very Mexican of you.
7 months out for Kerok out of jail, out of prison.
Yes. Remember, we have talked and dealt with them for about 2 years now. So these dates are a little skewed, but to recap you all in their relationship, Britney was locked up before, and she met Kerok while in prison. They engendered a relationship while there, and then they got split up. And it was very difficult to keep in contact, but they stayed true to each other. Britney got out, and she ended up living with Kerok's family in Virginia. Kerok's been locked up for like 7 years for like assault
robbery
and a whole bunch of other robbery and things. It's important to note that Kerok is a trans man. And so Kerok let us know that the state of Virginia made it possible for them to transition more easily than others. In that dynamic, right? Because how transitioning in prison, that's crazy. But they did it, and they're cool now, right?
Yeah.
They got out 7 months ago. They're still like putting their ducks in a row, but it seems like they got themselves together, right? They are all moving. At first, it seemed like it was just Kerok and Britney were moving. But it seems like they're packing up everybody, the mama too, and the brother, and starting a new life in Houston,
Texas. Now, they were packing that moving truck, and I was spawning a fucking nuke. I said, y'all are throwing these...
the same reason why?
Because they was throwing boxes in there, hither and thither,
haphazardly,
on top of fucking garbage bags.
Nothing was taped. Nothing. What did D.L. Warwick say in Got to Be Real? Nothing was together.
Nothing was together. Nothing was together.
Nothing was together.
They said fuck Tetris. It was just haphazard, and everything in me seized. It seized up as I was watching them. But they're moving to Houston with the whole family, which makes sense because Kerok and his family are very, very, very close and very tight knit. So they go.
And he has to take care of his mama because she is recovering from cancer.
Yes. I wonder if she's still with the boyfriend and if the boyfriend is going. Just curious.
I hope not.
I know, right? Because she just needs to be free. And she don't need to be worried about no nigga. So they go to get their oil changed in their Mercedes, which I know cost $250, $300 at this point. For the drive, Kerok has set everything up. Kerok's like, get the car together. He's paid the deposit on the apartment. They're getting out of the house. He's gotten everything together. He's now an HVAC tech, full time, which means he is making money because that's not cheap. But he gets a phone call while they are at the oil change shop. And it is a representative of the PO, letting him know that his parole has yet to be accepted. Now that's important, right? Because that's important to note. And he can't leave the state of Virginia yet. So he's upset. He's pleading on the phone to the officer, talking about all the plans that he's made, all the things that he's doing. And the officer said, as much as I hate police, I did chuckle because he said, why would you do all that without getting immediate approval? And it's like, yeah, why would you do all of that?
Yeah, why'd you do that?
And so they said, so the next steps are they're going to expedite a request that can still take up to 30 days. They're supposed to be leaving tomorrow. What they can do for them in the meantime is put them in a government-provided motel. We can all imagine. We've seen a government-provided motel on Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup, Life After Lockup, when Marcelino and Britney went looking for Britney's mother up and down the row in Las Vegas. And so we can only imagine what a government-issued motel in Virginia is going to be given. And it makes sense why there is a holdup, because it is not just Kerok who is applying to leave. It is Britney as well. And so they're getting a request for 2 formerly incarcerated individuals who are still on parole, relocating to their city. And let's be very clear. Britney's charge was armed robbery and Kerok's was robbery. So while we see the shift that they've made, Tradwife, all that, you know what I'm saying? Because
Britney is a trad.
That's what she is.
She is.
That's what you should. I should have.
She first lady.
She is. Down to how she wears her jackets on her shoulders, and so, but on paper, 2 felons, 1 armed robbery, 1 robbery, relocating to a new city together as a couple to Texas.
And so that's what I said too. I was like, y'all, I understand wanting a new start. Like, I understand it. And niggas love moving to Houston when they want a new
Houston
start.
Houston is in Texas.
But Texas, y'all.
Atlanta is in Georgia.
Because the first thing I thought of was, well, what is Kerok going to do about meds and stuff? You know what I mean? Because it's like, you already got a good scenario and set up here as far as with your insurance and your hormones and whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine going to Texas,
a state that is outlawing abortion and all kinds of things, is getting ready.
Being black, like, you know what I mean? So
now being black in Houston is a good time, okay? But I also
I'm not saying it's not.
No. I know. I'm saying clarity for the masses that it is
Houston's wonderful.
It's a cultural melting pot, right? And has fantastic culture, and a beautiful blend of cultures too, as well as its own. But it is still in Texas, and it is still under Texas law. While Virginia is also technically the South, you know what I'm saying, and got their own issues as well. Loving versus Virginia, although. I'm sorry. That's that case there. I would just anyway. Yeah, it looks crazy on paper. It just looks crazy on paper.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I mean, I'm going to assume that it's all going to pan out and work out for them. But in the first episode, it was just very things look bleak.
Yeah.
Kerok's head, this means that they can't move at all, which was important for Britney to come on and be like, let me understand. And she was like not yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was,
also, when
Britney
she jumped on the phone, I was like, I'm surprised that PO was like, who the fuck are you? Because I just don't imagine that's a call you just pass off. You know what I'm saying?
Never. No. Not at all.
But that was them. We're gonna see what happens. As of right now, they're supposed to leave tomorrow and have no approval to do so. So,
yeah. But let's move on to Bianca and Daniel, aka Sally, Jack-o'-lantern,
yes,
and Opie from.
Yes, he does look like Opie.
He looks like Ron Howard. Yeah.
Now, Sheriff Taylor, did you not say that Post Toasties had the cornflakes crackling with fresh corn flavor?
Well.
Answer yes or no, please.
Yes.
And didn't you say that from field to flake, Post Toasties never lose their fresh corn flavor?
That he does look like Opie.
He looks like Opie. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A reference.
But yeah. Part of me wonders if her accident wasn't so much alcohol induced, or was it because she was extremely dangerously horny and caused old girl to swerve into the oncoming traffic ramp because she was sick of this bitch.
So a little background for those who
I do not like her
at all. I told Florida.
She has nothing redeeming about herself except the fact that she's a breathing human being.
Florida.
But other than that, she is
Florida.
No, because there are cool people from Florida.
No, we're not talking about Dade County. We're not talking about Dade County. We're not talking about
just whites from Florida.
Let me tell you, it's white people from the middle of Florida or wherever the fuck Florida are just ilk that is insufferable. And this girl is Bianca. We call her Sally.
If you see Nightmare Before Christmas, you know why.
Yeah, take a look at her, Nightmare, and then we'll just leave it right there. I went into
this is Halloween.
She also looks like old Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
she is
the first version.
Yes, that's why I call her the New Adventures of Old Kylie Jenner. She's 23 years old from Dania Beach, Florida.
23 is very important.
23 white and from Florida is very important. She is with Daniel, who looks like Opie, also looks like a boy band member, also looks like he could have been a part of some sort of Reich at some point or another, is 31 years old and from New Mexico, Arizona. Somewhere dry and hot. Where's she moved to?
Somewhere they have witness protection. Arizona.
Yes. Was locked up 4.5 years. Scottsdale, thank you. Was locked up 4.5 years for third-degree burglary. Also an addict in recovery, and constantly battling addiction. She moved to Arizona from Florida right before, about a couple months, I think 30 days or something like that, before he got out, set up shop so that they could be together. And she is every bit of a 23-year-old white girl from Florida in thought, deed, action, essence, energy, aura, and everything else in between. That's the background.
Yeah. So, he just got out a few hours ago. And so, we go through flashbacks of, because this is her recounting and letting us know how horny and sex deprived they both are.
Yes.
Like he had sent a tracing of his dick where she was showing her BFF Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And, they finally get to the crib. And you can visibly see him being very anxious because he's like, this is sensory overload to me. I haven't been out in like over 5 years. So this is all new, you know, and being an apartment, I don't have to see a cell or whatever.
Right.
And then the grossest thing happens. He doesn't shower.
No.
Like at all. Like
Not
for
even
the rest
a
of the
thought.
evening. Not even, he just went in and sat down on her Marcus from Boomerang's couch. And because she also has the apartment set up like Marcus from Boomerang. Saw a lot of red and black.
Yeah, and the only thing she bought for the living, kitchen is a bottle opener magnet.
Because she needs, to open her bottles of wine.
Exactly.
So, he sits on the they bone, whatever. I'm a little on the fence of if he was, because them older pictures, I was like, I don't know if meth makes you queer. I don't know.
No,
but
it was giving me more boy
like,
band than it is, than it's giving anything else.
Same thing. So anyway. I can say that because I can.
Yes, and I can silently agree. What? That was out loud.
But anywho, it's morning, no Shirley Murdoch. And she's talking about how he catfished her. Like, he a little on the skinny side. He got muscles, but he a little on the skinny side. And I'm like, well, damn, bitch, he was in prison. What do you...
Well,
what do you expect of him?
I don't know.
You know what I
niggas
mean?
be coming out buff, but also, your body is your body. Like,
but it's genetics.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, did she expect him to take like protein shakes and just have a plan?
Girl, like,
also,
what are you? You are in here in this tank top that I wore in 2004.
Oh yeah, all of her clothes is exclusively from Charlotte Russe.
But like Charlotte Russe's vintage collection, 2002.
Yeah. But that's, I feel like, what malls in Florida give anyway.
That's fair. Like, they've never changed. Like, everybody shops at the Limit 2 for all their life.
Yeah, or Aeropostale.
Abercrombie and 579.
Yeah, those things, right? So, in typical life after lockup fashion, they end up asking him about how the butt was and stuff. And he was like, I saw the moons, the mountains, the rivers. It was a fucking As Yet song shit. And she was like, I could have had a V8.
Yeah.
But she also is looking for, like, porn star, put me through the mattress, and you can't expect that. Well, maybe I guess you could expect that from someone who refused to take a shower, but then was just like, let me put it on you, because that could either go one of two ways.
Not only that, I mean? she lets us know in so many words that, like, that they were soaking, and he was enjoying it. She was ready to get her bed rocked, and he was, he was getting euphoria off of soaking.
And I mean, again, a man who has not touched, and he has not had sex in like 5 years. So he's...
And actually longer than that, because remember, he told us,
recall.
He was like, I don't know the last time I had sex because before I got out of prison, before I went into prison, nobody wanted to fuck on me because I was an addict. Which I was like, well, what circle are you running in? Because all the addicts I know be fucking on each other. But
I tell you, like, rabbit.
Like, outside. You know what I'm saying? They like in front of other niggas. So I was just trying to figure, I was like, oh, you're running in the wrong circles, King. But I think probably not what I should be.
You had bad meth. You had not your bad meth friends.
Right. Like, how do you end up in the wrong meth circle? Like, I just, every addict I know of every drug and every ilk be fucking or something. So I just don't.
They do.
I was like,
because when I was doing harm reduction, like when I had to make out like safer smoking kits or safer shooting kits or whatever, they all included condoms.
Yes.
Because they be fucking for either pleasure or for the shit they're trying to smoke.
Hello,
so,
or a cheeseburger.
You know what I mean?
All I'm saying, old people and addicts be fucking. So I just don't know what he was doing.
They do. They really do.
Yeah.
So, he's making her breakfast and things. What happened?
Do you ever think about, like, you old and fucking?
I think about that often.
Me too.
I always thought that after a certain age, I'm hanging up like gay sex because what do I look like? Like, there's one thing, to do the bending, and then there's another one. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you a bottom at 50, that's dicey, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think about like
they're like, well, can I tell you a story? I'm not being problematic. This is real. It was like 25 years ago, and my good homegirl worked at Chase. And so sometimes, I'd go and link her, we'd go eat or whatever the case is, right? So I got to know her coworkers and shit. And there was one particular coworker, and he would come eat with us sometimes and, all of that, right? And then I would do my banking. I did my banking at Chase at the time. So, like, if I needed to do something, I'd just go to her branch. So, there were a few times where, he would have to scurry off. And he was honest about the fact that, like, his muscles weren't muscling like they once did. And he had to, gotta go right now. And so, that was my first, like, I was like, wait, hold on. Like shit in the bed is a phrase in my world. You mean to tell me, like, he was like, yeah, girl, like he's like, you've been working a long time. he was like, you got carpal tunnel in your wrist, right? I was like, copy. Like, I hear you. So I understand that. I guess
because here's the thing, right? I was when we were watching Black Ink, right? And Sky got a vaginoplasty because she was talking about how
she got it.
She got the beef curtains tightened.
Yeah, but what's that called?
Yeah, vaginoplasty.
Oh yeah, okay. But she kept calling it something else. Did she say she would get her vagina bedazzled or something?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. That is Sky. But yeah, it's the same scenario. Like, after a while, the wear and tear, you gotta get a little tune up. Now, for his case, okay, so
like, are there Kegels for your butt? Like, I'm doing Kegels right now, and I feel like, am I Kegling my butt or am I Kegling? See, it's all like a region. So I'm
you're Kegling,
No, I'm Kegling my Kegels right now.
Space.
But but how do you Kegel your butt?
Just like men, you don't. Like men, I'm doing my Kegels now, but that's for your like your balls and shit, right? But like, I feel this is why. This is why, like, if you engage in anal, like, you have to do aftercare. Like, you do have to sit in, like, a sitz bath. You do have to, like, do aftercare and continue to lube it because it is a sensitive area and you're tearing. And, like, if it dries, and y'all know when you scrape your knee and you don't put Neosporin on it, shit fucking hurts, right? So it's literally the same thing now for them. Mm-hmm. They're experiencing anal prolapse, which the muscles there are super weak. However, when people think about like food going directly through them and out of them, that's a farce. It takes about like 12 to 24 hours for you to actually digest. That's just stuff that's like when you eat food and you have to shit right away. It's just something like your brain has activated
because your
the muscle
intestines
to be
are
like,
long, nigga. They got to get through.
Exactly. So your brain is telling you to clear out for something to come in, which means that's already been in there already. So that's something. But anal prolapse is a thing, and I've thought about that often. And you can experience anal prolapse at any age, honestly, if you work a lot.
I was like, I got arthritis in this wrist at 16.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, I do understand. Pussy don't fail me now.
Listen.
Yeah, I think about my old sex, and I'm like, am I gonna be like that old freaky lady from New Orleans who still be buying crotchless panties and like her and her nigga be dipping off to hotels and shit? Or I just wonder. Like, I'm curious.
It's different if it's just you and your nigga and you can be nasty with you and your nigga just together, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. But like, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, as long as you're not subjecting the world to it,
Well, I like, do old niggas in old nigga homes, like, once upon a time, like, did they imagine that they were getting ready to be old horse, spreading it spreading it wide and laying it low at the nursing home? Like, what was the trajectory of their lives?
I don't know, but I don't think people ever think about stopping fucking. I think everybody's always thinking about when's the next time they can, right?
Oh no, I'm not talking about stopping. I'm just wondering if they envision their lives as like a fuck for all in their old days. And I'm like,
not.
am I gonna be an old lady like 9-15ing all over the nursing home? I don't know.
You might. You never know.
I know.
Because I don't know what old hormones give.
Let me.
You know what I mean?
Doing my Kegels just in case.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Jane and XD. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
You are not welcome.
What else? And in the case of 1-year-old Ymir Marquise.
And we're back. We're covering Life After Lockup, the brand new season. You can always check your local listings on WeTV. Let's move on to Kim and Joey. Legs, hips, and body. And
Kirstie Alley.
Also Kirstie Alley.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a brick house. Body yaddy yaddy. Stacked.
Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big, little waist. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big, little waist.
Yeah. So we met them literally last season of Life After Lockup. Basically, Kim is a single mother of 2. She's secretly married. She hasn't told anybody. She hasn't really gotten divorced yet, but that's going to come an issue later. She is currently engaged to a high school or childhood grievance, deviant. He was a wild one back in the day. He stole from her daddy's shop, even though he still denies it to this day. It's the
worst spin the block.
He fucked on her. He was kicking it with her cousin. He cheated on his cousin with Kim. Like, it was a lot. But he's out. They have matching cars. He's broke and he's spending all her money on a teacher's aide salary. And she's happy and in love.
Yeah.
So she is going through baby clothes and things with his mother because they're getting ready for a garage sale, because they are trying to get a new home, and any little bit of money helps. And so she's selling all old baby clothes and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop.
He ain't got no job.
Down payment from home. Yes, no, he has no job. It doesn't seem like he's interested in getting one because he's been out for a couple months now.
Mind you, in the last season, this nigga, he needed new tires for his brand new car. Don't know how that works.
A Nissan Pathfinder
that she bought, which matches her Nissan Pathfinder. And he went to the shop and bought. She told him $500 limit, $700 limit, something like that. He bought $1,200 rims.
$2,200.
Oh, $2,200 rims. Yes. And thought it was the disparity of what she told him to spend versus what he spent was pocket change.
Yeah. So they don't really have a real financial plan for anything. It's just kind of just vibes,
Yeah.
But now he's Mr. Mom, with the hips to match. He is in charge of, the daddy stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So there really isn't any storyline for real until, and when they brought it up, and I looked, and I was like,
perhaps.
Perhaps. So we got a Maury case on our hands, friends. So one of the children could possibly be legs, hips, and body. They did a side by side like you do on Instagram or on Maury. And gotta be honest, that little boy doesn't not look like him. You know what I mean?
Furthermore, they showed. So she was fucking on her ex at the same time she was fucking on him because her ex cheated on her. She found out. And so she went back to her old thing because she likes to spin the block with him multiple times. And so she was fucking on them at the same time, got pregnant, but then he went to jail. So she was like, oh, bet that I'm going to go with the nigga who's here, even though the nigga who's here has not really been present in the child's life. The child is 5. Now, when they showed the picture of them, they blurred the face, but even in everything else that was not blurred, that child is giving way more body yaddy yaddy than he's giving whoever that nigga was in that picture. Yeah.
They buy a test. She's going through it. They try to make it seem like it's a covert mission. She's like, well, what do I have to be? I don't want to be involved. And he's like, relax, just lay there like you usually do. And I'll swab him and we'll send it in a few weeks back. I'll find out if I'm the pappy. And that was literally them.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. This is about to sound really problematic, but I think about this often. Like the children of Maury. Like my mom my mom went on here 7 times.
Yes.
To figure out who my dad is, and each one of them wasn't my daddy.
As adults, we know we don't sex shame because, shit happens. Niggas have a good time, many variables.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. He's very...
when it's your mama.
Right. He's... he's gung-ho about getting this DNA test because obviously it's like my seed. Niggas.
Yeah.
She is not gung-ho because she does not want her children to think she was a gung-ho when they find out she was fucking on 2 niggas at one time. And so she's very much like, oh, well, his daddy's not present anyway. What does it matter? And he's like, because I want to know if this kid is mine.
Right.
She just don't want to grow up and have to explain her fucking on 2 niggas at the same time with her kids, which is like, girl, you got to get over that.
Yeah, you got to put your big girl drawers on and stand up.
Yeah. With a spine. So, and she's concerned also, which I can understand this aspect of it, that if it doesn't turn out this way, in the way that he wants, because he's very excited about it, how he's going to handle that level of disappointment because he is a recovering addict. And so, which is why she also keeps Apple tags on every inch of his person. So she's installed one of them pet chips in the back of his neck and everything. So she is concerned with what is getting ready to happen if this kid is not his.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But that was them.
Yeah.
Where would you want to go to next? We've gotten all the whites out the way.
Yes. Ooh, who do you want to end with? Oh, let's go with Justine, and
Montana Millz.
Montana Millz, who is going by Michael now.
Yeah, as he should, because after a certain age, if you haven't achieved your optimal level of success in rap, then you need to go back to your government name.
Bitch, I'm hotter than the kettle. Gold chain, fucking metal. 100,000 on the bezel when this beef is getting settled. Push a pedal to the metal. I've been on another level, catch me in the new Lexus. Moving bricks, like I'm still playing Tetris. I've been gone, but I'm still so respected. Doing me.
I just watched Busta Rhymes perform, and that nigga has consistently worked for years, and now needs to stop. So
he needs to go by Trevor now,
right?
Like go back to being Trevor.
Like I respect you when you know how to gracefully bow out.
Yeah, you know, when you know your time has set.
Like
you
him
know?
and Spliff Star was up on that stage. It was a great concert, but they was up there with their daddy ass grandpa
Wheezy.
bellies and bubble coats and outfits and like rants and raves, and it was just
Geritol
you
eating
know,
ass niggas.
you know, in boots. So, yeah.
So, Justine and Montana Millz. I actually really enjoy them as a couple.
Yeah.
And I this is probably one of the few honest and true storylines we will ever get out of a Matt Sharp production. So how do we recall? So we've been with Justine and Michael for a while now. Justine is a mother of 4. She had 3 kids on her own. And Michael had 4 on his own when they first met. They got married while in prison. He was in prison for distributing fentanyl to people. And, he also raps on the side and makes shoes. They have had some tumultuous times, not with anything like him cheating, but like his mom is crazy. She called Justine a hoe and wanted to make sure that the child that they had together was his and tried to sneak a DNA test. So whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. They had the child. Her name is Manhattan, and she is so cute. They call her Maddie. And, we also learned that Michael has had to get a day job because they spent too much money on this house. And they low-key had to because it seems like all of the children live in the home.
Yours, mine, and ours. I mean...
Yeah, like Oprah could put a school in there if it was in Africa.
The only two I didn't see were those 2 young... No, because you know how I feel about them Reeboks and them hot dogs. Because that's probably all them kids is eating because money is so goddamn tight right now.
Because how do you
feed 9 niggas? How do you... Of all growing types, you see what I'm saying? Like you got a college student, so you know they eat you out of house and motherfucking home. You got a 17-year-old, which is on the brink. You got an 11-year-old
arrested for how much they eat.
Right, like they have a slew of like niggas who eat, and then the 2 youngest, I don't know if they're there, but I feel like they come because I feel like he sees all his kids, and they love this life. But she don't work. No. I know they're not selling them shoes no more, and they only sold 2 pair. He's not making music. He works for the moving company. So, like, this is not 1992. What's happening? Anyway.
This is why I don't understand why people who will be having multiple kids, like, we don't have to have hella children for the farm to not fail. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm reassessing
okay.
Like, now over 1 more because I'm like, nigga, I'm feeding 3 of us and it's crazy for groceries. 1 bag of groceries I got today, 1 paper bag of groceries, $68.
Yeah, I spent like $200 yesterday and I only got like 4 plastic bags of things. And it's not even I went to like Whole Foods. Like I ordered from fucking Food for Less. So it's not like it's super basic food. Like I can't imagine just feeding children. Like Chris and I talk about that often because I'd be like, God bless your mother and father, because he's the youngest of 7, the youngest of 8. So I'm like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, I do not understand this, and to willfully. So they are joking that she did this on purpose, right? They're at the doctor. We see Manhattan Barbie for the first time, because she was pregnant the last time we saw them. She is a doll baby. I mean, a living doll baby. But yes, her name is Manhattan Barbie, and she also has merch. Her mother's wearing it to the doctor's appointment.
Yeah, I was trying to...
I would know.
I was trying.
No. The child has merch.
You wouldn't wear Noah merch?
I wear a Noah in necklace, and that's about as merchy as it's getting. Maybe
I don't know. If I had a kid, I'd probably be head ass about my kid. I'd have a banner. Like, I'd be so proud. Unless if my kid was whack, then I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Then the bush.
Yeah,
but
no, that's
real.
real.
If I had, I'm not gonna promote no whack baby. It's weird. Like, what? Some kids really do have bad vibes, and I really want people to just acknowledge that. And sometimes, not all children you can vibe with.
No, that's.
I'm not saying we gotta like do anything bad to them. I'm just saying some kids you just don't. Some kids aren't cool. Okay.
No, they're not. They're not. And it's like y'all having two back to back like that, like. It's like, ooh, 50-50. I don't know. This can go either way.
Exactly. It's dicey. So they at the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And we learn that she is in the family way yet again with baby number 9.
Yes.
Not hers, but this is just in general baby number 9.
Yes.
This is a joyous and very bittersweet occasion because, they were like, the children are involved. They know, they're excited. We didn't tell anybody else because my mama's crazy and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Both their parents are crazy. And they're having a boy. And so the doctor, Dr. Heather, sets in a very, very sobering reality for both of them.
Yeah.
So her last pregnancy was very high risk.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular pregnancy will be extremely high risk because of she will have to have a C-section from what it explained.
Yes, and has had several already.
Yes, and has had several already. Dr. Heather was like, in any other world, we would have tied your tubes at 4. You know what I mean? Because they need to explore. Yeah, they need to explore a permanent birth control scenario because it's unhealthy for her to carry children to term at this point, right?
Because C-sections are surgery, and so when you impart trauma to an area that's already had repeated trauma, it's going to weaken that area, your muscles, all of those things. And so it is dangerous for her at this point. Like, they are being very stern, actually, and expressing disappointment in her getting pregnant again. Because she has been told that this is a really dangerous scenario.
And they talk about all the ins and outs, and you can imagine how grave it would be, and they even include death, right? They talk about, do you have a living will and testament and blah blah, which she does not. And so Michael is like, I don't want to have this conversation, and he's very much like, I don't know what I would do without Justine. And of course that's what you would say about your partner, right? Like, I don't know what to do in this world, in this life. And Justine is like, I hear you, King.
Yeah.
However, if something happens to me, these other kids got to live too. So we need to have a plan in place. Like, regardless of, like, I understand what this is and whatever, but like, it's scary, and I'm scared shitless because she admits that because she was scared the last time when she had Maddie.
Yep.
And she tells him, like, you got to finish the job, bro. Like, you got to put on your big man panties and be a father. She was like, I don't want tubes down my throat. I don't want to be kept on life support long if it gets to this. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, well, I have different expectations and wishes. She was like, this isn't about you. This is about me and the quality of life for the children.
Yeah.
And so you can tell this season is going to be primarily focused on what that looks like. You could also see him having a little pushback from getting a vasectomy.
Yes, that irritates the fuck out of me. Like, that irritates the living fuck out of me. But I do.
Men are weird about that.
Yeah, they are, and that's just not fair whatsoever to anybody. especially when there is only but so much physical anything that you have to do. So go to hell. But also, as far as the concern around the health, I've heard from many people, and even from other birthing people who have been faced with not necessarily this scenario, but high risk. That it's like they're like, I it's the baby the baby over me. And then I've heard from many people like, I want my partner. And so that's a really difficult place to be, because also you all have a tribe, you have a village, and I'm sure the thought of not having not only the person that you are the most in love with, but also the person who you are raising all these other humans with, like that thought has to be frightening. And so I can, that vasectomy bullshit aside, I can understand, because he looked like he was about to shit a brick the whole time. And initially I was like, oh, this nigga is not, he's stressed about money, he's not happy. But no, it's much deeper than that. Like, he is facing the risk of losing his life partner and the mother of his children and children living with him. So yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. But that was them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where would you like to move on to? Who would you like to end with? Because we have two more couples.
Rudy Huxtable and Big Brother. We can end with them.
Oh, we end with Robb and Tennie. So we'll go with Z and Rob. Or Z and Troy.
Boot up.
Boot up Winehouse and Teddy Thugspin. Oh. So we just met them like the other day.
Yeah.
Boot up Winehouse, makeup poisoning, in Troy. So like they're from Western and Central New York, respectively. If you missed it, Troy just got out of prison maybe 2 months ago. He was running the streets and got caught up, and he was locked up for a significant amount of time. He was married in prison to Zeruiah, who he met through his former bunkie. So Zeruiah, she has a child named As Hell, and and the father of As Hell is in prison, and As Hell's daddy had a roommate named Troy. And somehow, some way, she started talking to him, and that's how they became to be.
Remember in the classic movie when Harry met Sally and the character played by Billy Crystal insisted men and women can't be friends? Well, hugely popular syndicated radio and talk show host Steve Harvey agrees.
Now, since he's been home, they've had issues, right? He has a baby mama who Zeruiah in her head thinks that she wants Troy back. She also thinks that this baby mom's is bad news.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. And recently, they all went, he got out, him and his mama, they drove to Buffalo and met the kids and family, whatever. And Zeruiah didn't talk or engage with his baby mom's Yana with anything, and she felt away. And Yana was like, "Well, girl, why the fuck, I don't want her around my daughter because she wasn't even woman enough to talk to me and figure some shit out."
Yeah,
and that's where we are.
Yeah.
Also, Z owns a Wind Up Boot House owns a nonprofit called Project Heal, and that's what brings us here to today. So they're up fussing with each other because they don't know how to communicate effectively. Well, Zeruiah doesn't know how to communicate effectively. She just yells and things. And so like they're fussing in the confessional. They just start fussing, blah blah blah. her sister is still there. 2 months later, Z made it a point last season to tell her sister, like, you don't have to move. Like, this is your house first, and yada yada. And her sister, which I'm surprised she lacks shame because she should have moved out. But here's my thing. I would have moved out because, like, I'm not winning against a husband and wife, regardless, right? And I also don't want to be a part of that. Like,
I don't want to be a part.
My own sanity, I don't want to be a part. So I would just remove myself from the situation because you're not going to remove him from the situation. You know what I mean? So her sister is like, yeah, I don't like it when they fight. They fight a lot, and she be handling the business. And I can see that Zeruiah is low-key and abusive.
Person. She said, I feel bad for him. He'd be looking like a sad puppy in a corner. When somebody describes somebody as that, she said, my sister is a fucking monster in so many words. You know?
Right. So the next quote is usually how I lived my life, but also lets me know how the rest of their story is going to go. So they about to go to work, and they're already running late. And he says, well, I'm about to roll this blunt so we can go.
Yeah. As
never identified with anything more.
I felt the same. I felt the same way. I was like, I too, enjoy my morning libations. Not before I, head to take the kid to school, but once I've settled,
you gotta, but also, and I understand smoking before work. However, this is your first day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wait until later. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, weed is important and it's medicinal, but I think in this regard, and I don't know, is he on papers still?
This nigga has an ankle monitor on, so...
Yes, he does. Yeah, you're right, he does. So I would not have admitted to smoking weed on camera.
I don't know the stipulations around it. Actually,
I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't, just in general.
Well, I get that because our shit is fucked up, and they'll take some shit that's. But now that I think about it, it may not be against parole because it's legal in New York.
That's fair.
It's legal in the state of New York. So, but also alcohol is legal, and some people's stipulations are that they're. But I would imagine that he's not. Well, I would have maybe a couple of episodes ago said he might not be so stupid as to smoke on camera if it's against his parole. But given how this particular situation panned out, I don't know if I can say that with certainty now.
Yeah, nah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, bro. And I definitely forgot because they made it a point to show to the camera to zoom in on that big clunky ass ankle monitor.
Because at first I was like, her respectability politics are like wilding right now, and then the ankle monitor
was right there.
I was like, ooh.
It's hard. Just like I tried watching Dancing with the Stars the other day, just because white people whimsical television is great to watch while high. When you're looking for, I don't need to focus, I just need to just watch something. You know what I mean? And they had Anna Delvey on there and her ankle monitor, and I was like, this is ghetto whites. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever want white, because I hate when white people say this is ghetto, but then I looked, I'm like, oh, this is ghetto. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anywho, back to Boot Up Winehouse and Teddy Thugspin. So they're on their way to Project Heal.
Yes.
Project Heal is a org that Z started a nonprofit for mental health recovery for the formerly incarcerated. Right? So they do mental health services, job placement, all those things that a nonprofit would do, in wherever you would work, right? So this is his first time being there because remember, she's given him a job there. They are co-partners, just like Toilet Tissue did. However, she made him Director of Community Engagement, which is a shady-ass title. So he doesn't do anything for real. He just engages the community, meaning like hey, I'm the poster boy because I've been in prison and I'm out. Look at me. Like that's exactly that, and you engage other niggas just like that. That's literally what he does. So, he meets the staff, which is only 2 other people. So Dr. Stud, who, she's down with the get down. And then you have nice social worker lady. I didn't really get their names, but they seem nice people in here for the cause.
I did. Ashley and Dr. Ednita.
Yeah, Dr. Stud and nice social worker lady.
I've never heard anybody's name Ednita. That was a new one for me.
I'm sure her mom was named Anita and her daddy was named Eddie.
Ed, yeah, and it was something dotish that they pulled together. Yeah, you're right.
Ednita. So, I gotta say, Project We Got Y'all or whatever the fuck, nice space. Important to the story. So it's a really nice spot. It's all glass and everything. And the nice social worker lady is like, he cool, but I don't know him.
Yeah, they both was looking like,
my concern is I don't know him.
And again, as we have stated before, we have seen a shaky ass situation where a bitch with a sketchy tax service on this show introduced her husband to her employees as their current boss via a jail phone call. And so, I can understand for employees that have systems in place and things have been working for a while, when you bring your nigga ass husband in here talking about he's co-owner out of nowhere. There might be some, we just need to pay a little attention and see how things are going to roll.
Exactly. So, they have the first sit down, right, of meeting each other, what's going to go down, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. She shows him his office. This is his first office gig. He's only been worked in factories or blue collar type things. So, he's excited.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's excited because he begins to compare this to the streets. And niggas love making comparisons to street life, because he was like, I'm basically running my own gang.
Yeah.
And that was his quote. Like, he feels like he's running his own game.
Yes.
And my note says right after that, oh baby, this isn't gonna last. Because if you think that you're gonna run a nonprofit like a regular business, because that's what he thinks this is, you got another thing coming. Which he did.
Yeah. Because he did not understand. I said he doesn't understand business, and he doesn't understand nonprofits at all. At all.
No.
Although her explanation, while made sense, there was something missing. Swiss cheese.
Oh, there was, and I'm gonna get to it.
Oh, okay.
Because because I'm like, yes, grants operate kind of like that, but also, what type of grant do you have? Because you should have got all that money up front. If not, because why are you invoicing off of a grant? That doesn't make sense to me. But hey. So anywho, she has a secret.
Yes.
Whatever. The next day, they're laying in bed. She's talking about how she was robbed of a wedding because of COVID and he was in prison. And I was like, okay, both of those are your choices that you decided to make. You could have waited on all this, but no, you chose.
Yeah.
So she shows him a text message. And the text message says that the rent is late by 2 months. And the way he's thinking, so we haven't paid rent for this apartment for 2 months? What the fuck? And she's like, no, this is for Project Heal. So then she makes a very unclear statement about about misuse of funds and where the money is going, or how the money isn't coming in the way she wants it to, or whatever, which I thought was very odd, because last season you made it very clear that you just manifest money, and somehow you're $7,000 in debt, so you better hightail it and take him, cash in that money bouquet you gave him and apply it to the copier being Fricks, Khadijah.
I told you that Psychic Aaron, a broken clock is right twice a day. And as a girly who, you know, doesn't mind delving, I'm still very skeptical of the the barrage of woo-woo girlies that have arrived on the scene, and you need to be doing your due diligence as to what people are really into. You know what I'm saying? And what they're really doing this for. And Psychic Aaron also told her, don't do this. But Psychic Aaron didn't give her any advice about herself. She didn't give her any readings about herself. It was more about her dealings with this nigga. And see, what I am realizing is outside of this nigga just not needing to have any hands in this business whatsoever, Mama is like a mess. Because also, as you are $7,000 in debt, let us forget that when this nigga got out, how long is he out now? How long he been out, they said?
About 2 months, I think.
You gave him a bouquet of money. Money roses. So your story of how, you know, the money is coming in and who you had to pay and so forth. So there's also some extreme mismanagement happening here.
Yeah. And so Teddy Thugsbin is kind of upset, right? Because again, he doesn't understand nonprofit, but he's also like, he realizes that like he's not getting any income either because the business isn't making money. And so he's pissed that he acts just like his mother Karen. Oh, when he gets mad, he turns just into his mother. And you know, she's trying to explain to him, and she's trying to like what you call babyface herself, like making herself like she's like a victim or whatever, because she's like doing this, like, let's work this out. Like, now, and we've heard how she gets down. Like, she will call him the F word if she could.
This bitch fucked herself with a cross last time, okay? Like pea soup.
Head spinning.
So yeah. I'm not buying it. He also did bring up a valid point. Again, this nigga knows nothing about nonprofit. But how much have you all really, for him to be your co-partner, you started this off of an idea and some jail phone calls that y'all were having. Like, how much due diligence did you do? A. And also, you weren't upfront with what the financial situation was as soon as it started happening. And you cheated on this nigga a year ago. So, he don't know shit about shit, but you're not making this. You're not You're not making this situation easier.
Not at all. So he goes outside in his ankle monitor and a pink do-rag and all black because he's angry, and now he feels like he has to hustle because he has to provide for his family. So I don't know what he plans on doing, hugging the block again. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know how much you can do in a pink do-rag and an ankle monitor, but
yeah, we're gonna see what happens.
That was them, and let's wrap this on up.
Yeah. Ooh. Rudy
with Rudy Huxtable and Robb, who I'm assuming used to play for the Washington Commanders or some football organization at some point. Because he gives ex-footballer. You know what I mean? Like, he gives,
he didn't have time to do that. He was in jail for 16 years, but...
Yeah, I know. But that's what the energy that he gives retired NFL players.
He gives retired military.
That too. Well, football also operates like the military.
Yeah, they stole the name football and put it to a completely different sport when the rest of the world does not call like there was a whole game called football.
Yeah.
The audacity of these motherfuckers. History. But anyway, Big Brother Robb. So a little backstory for you all. Tennie, aka Rudy Huxtable, lives in Yukon, Oklahoma. Diamond Teeth. They call her Teenie, but it's spelled Tennie. We call her Rudy. You can go look and see why. Robb is big brother because when Robb was in jail for 16 years, I think they've been married for 5. And Robb had cameras set up all over the home where he could monitor everything that was going on, from what the children were eating out of the refrigerator to who was visiting to, watching her sleep. Did all this from his jail cell. He's now out. He's been out for 6 weeks, and they are a happy family. This is one of the few times we've seen where the kids, let me not say that because there have been times, but in this particular case, as it pertains to them, the kids are fully comfortable with him, actually. While we had a lot of reservations about those stupid fucking cameras and the invasion of their privacy, they liken him to the missing puzzle piece of their family, and they really are like a little foursome unit.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I see how this works. He's not that toxic. I thought, this would be a little bit different.
He's institutionalized, and he is a nigga, but he is not overtly poisonally toxic.
No.
Yeah.
No. Remember his big secret last time was that he had his ex tatted on, like her whole face tatted on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he never told her about it. He never told Tennie about it. However, they were showering together when he finally got out, and she was like, well, who the fuck is that bitch? And so clearly that's how she found out. She's petty and she brings it up in arguments.
Yeah.
Hold on. Totally pause. We forgot to mention the argument with Sally and Mein Kampf when she. Pause Tennie and Robb and go back back to Bianca and Daniel. Yeah, so they had breakfast the next day.
Yes, I completely forgot about this.
This is why I was like, age is so important. So they had dinner. They had breakfast the next day after he made it for her, and they just talking about what they got to do today. And all of a sudden she goes, "Can you get me a cup of coffee?" Mm-hmm. And they already sitting down eating. He was like, "Well, I brewed it. You
the coffee's over there. Just go make a glass, girl."
And she's like, "No, I want you to make it." And he was like, "I'm eating. Like I just cooked. Like, girl, it'll be quicker if you just do it." She has a full on temper tantrum. She is like her face drops. Mm-hmm. She gets super flippant and just like mean. And he's like, and she was like, "Well, I done everything for you. As much as I've had to spend money on this move and stuff." And he was like, "Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that." She was like, "Well, why not?" He was like, "That's manipulation." And he was like, "Well, why did you do those things? Because you wanted to, not because I forced you to, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, but still, I did all this." He was like, "Don't do that."
He also said, he was like, "Listen, like, let us be clear. I owe you a lot. Like, I will never deny that. I will never deny what you have done to me. But what you won't do is manipulate these situations and throw that shit in my face because I'm not doing something that you want me to do in the moment." And that's where I had to remind myself, 23 and 31.
Yeah, 23. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did not receive that because she's 23.
Yep.
And has an alcohol problem.
Yep.
But anywho, back to Robb and Rudy. So that brought that up because she keeps bringing it up in arguments. I'm like, that's super petty, and she's still very irked by it all. So Robb explains to us that he has social anxiety now, like, and it got ramped up even during the pandemic because there's one thing when you're sitting in your cell and they have the door open, but he was like, during COVID, sitting in your cell, then they have the door closed, and then they have it locked.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's something even an extra level of loneliness that prison already, allows, right?
Right.
So he brings all this up because he's kind of uncomfortable but kind of excited about having a welcome back party. He's been out for about 6 weeks now. And he's been to Florida and been on a plane for the first time. So he's living life, but he's still trying to acclimate himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, they get to the party at this venue, and I was very triggered by this. And he makes a statement about, like, when he was locked up, the only person that would come to see him would be Rudy Huxtable and her kids.
Yeah.
His mama stopped after a while, and we all know why, because Black Kathy is the spawn of Satan.
She's a child.
Yeah.
She reminds me of a teenager with a bad attitude. No, she's a teenager with a bad attitude. Like, that lady has a whole rack of hurt, and she does. We'll get to her. We're gonna get to her because I have thoughts for when she comes in.
So, they're calling people to be like, are you coming? And he's like, and they're like, nah, I got X, Y, and Z. And they're finding excuses out the ass.
Baby!
It was like
when that lady said her fucking allergy, my allergies, and I can't be in the sun because of my eye. I was
that was wild. It reminded me of when Royce had that fashion show on Basketball Wives, and Jennifer and Evelyn were like, I can't go. And Evelyn was like, somebody broke into Dolce. And like, nobody. And Royce was like, bitch, I know you lying. Like, no, you're not.
Sorry, Tube Top. Nobody wants to come to your party.
Yeah, not at all. So eventually her homegirl comes and trying to figure out, like, well, where his family at? I'm trying to meet him, trying to understand who this nigga is and where he came from. And then eventually his mama and peoples came, right?
Her mom shows up. Then his mom shows up, and we get active.
Yeah. Now, apparently, last time we saw them, Tennie explained to us that she gets along with everybody in his family except his mama. And that's because Robb put them in a very fucked up situation.
Yes.
Basically, Robb told Tennie to give his mama $500 and then asked Tennie to ask his mama for it back. And Kathy was like, that's fucked up. Also, why are you accepting money from your son in prison? But that's neither here and there. So they've already had beef. They've had it out even at a little coffee shop in Oklahoma that we saw last year.
Yeah.
Or earlier this year.
And at the current time of this particular, in this event, his mother was not speaking to him he had made her mad in some way. And
I know it was about money.
It probably was. Well, we see also, additionally, his mother has all right, so listen, his mom shows up. His mom has a bad, nasty attitude. She has a nasty attitude with Rudy Huxtable. She has a nasty attitude in general, to the point where when she shows up, her first words out of her mouth are, you didn't think I was going to show up, did you? And I'm like, here you come, like out the gate. So she immediately, even though this is a celebration of him coming home, she immediately she victimizes herself, which is what she did in the conversation with Rudy Huxtable last season. She said, I don't like the way you've been treating me. Now, one would think, well, has he been talking to her crazy? Or no, you ain't been showing up. You ain't been spending no time with me. You left me for another family. You left your family for another family. Now, we've had the Rolling Stone conversation many times on this show. And there are niggas who fully abandon whole families to raise brand new families. This nigga had as a wife and has taken her kids on as his own. He did not have kids. He did not have another wife. He had a mother and some siblings. So this sounds like some misplaced bitches dress
issue.
Bitches dress their sons like the niggas.
Oh yeah, Jalen is my king.
Yeah, and I think he has been her king, even all this time, even in prison. On top of the fact that she is developmentally, she's not developed emotionally. Excuse me. Since I don't know, 16. Like there's a serious case of arrested development here.
Yeah. I'm about to say something very controversial. This might get us canceled, I don't know, but it's very true. What I have noticed is that boy moms are very toxic to other women, or tend to be.
I think some. Well, I think
there's some women who do that. You know what I mean?
I feel like they are the same ilk of niggas who greet boyfriends with shotguns.
Yeah,
it's the same ideology,
it's weird.
Problematic ideology.
Yeah,
and there are extremes within boy moms and extremes within girl dads. You know, and it's I see where you. Yes,
I'll say that.
There
yes.
we go.
Thank you for bringing.
You're
me
welcome.
Down to earth.
Yes, just like you took off that fucking hat.
Yeah. I wore a different
XD
hat
had a
earlier.
different hat on earlier, and I shamed him privately.
You didn't shame me. I'll say I was wearing a Harris Walls hat. However, I realized
now you about to get the pink rose in my fucking messages again, telling me that I hate the government.
Well,
and
I'm gonna explain. It has nothing to do with that. It's more so like it is a political endorsement, and I don't want that to be. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And as much as I say I'm not, it is a symbol of, and I don't want that to come across in this show.
That's fair.
But
yeah.
And
no, we're not saying don't vote or
didn't
don't
say that either.
We didn't say that. An endorsement is different than
actually, like my ballot came in the mail this morning. Actually, so it was like, oh, can you see?
Mm-hmm. Yep. See it. Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, vote. Vote. That's the only thing I'll tell y'all. Vote. But if not for president, vote for the niggas that's on your blocks. Okay.
Your local
aldermen. The aldermen, alderwomen.
Locally.
Voting matters locally. And clean up your streets. Okay. And get the gross politicians out that don't need to be there. But anywho,
hold on real fast before you move on.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cleaning the streets, me and this sanitation cop. When I tell you we got beef with each other, this nigga be looking for me now. He be looking for me, and I like to play.
What happened?
Because I was parked on the street cleaner side, but I was sitting in the car. And the caveat of a ticket during street cleaning is if you sitting in a car, usually they'll walk up and be they're in the car, and then they keep it pushing, right? Not this nigga. This nigga stood adjacent to my fucking driver's seat and looked at me through the rearview mirror. I mean, looked at me through the front mirror, and I was like, you're a nasty, nasty, nasty epithet right now. So I drove off before he could get my full license plate, and so now he looks and I rolled the window, and I was like, you couldn't get it, nigga. And then so now he be looking for me, and I always drive off. And it's a game of cat and mouse. And this nigga's really trying to give me a ticket, and I want him to like get on the edge of glory. So yes, I've been fucking with the sanitation cop for every time I come back from dropping Noah off. That's my morning activity before I work out.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, back to this.
So like, his mama came and basically was just being herself, and all of a sudden Tennie got fed up and was like, bitch, what is your problem with me?
Yeah, and real, because she comes with a nasty. Now we have to note before we we talk about this, that the children put forth, an earnest effort to make him a cake. They even decorated it. And it was a welcome home and his DOC number. And I said, those kids are motherfucking amazing. But back to his mother comes with her nasty fucking attitude. And Rudy Huxtable snaps like literally anybody would when somebody just repeatedly has an attitude with them for literally no fucking reason. Like, we just made peace. You begged me to sit down after I was getting ready to leave last time. And we supposedly hashed and talked this shit out. And then you came in here on motherfucking 10 now. And I'm supposed to just sit here with you being like, okay, bye, go do whatever you got. Like, who the fuck are you fucking talking? I don't give a fuck who you are at this point.
Right.
And Teenie gets active first.
Mm-hmm. She does.
And mushes his mother because I rewound it 4 fucking times to see who put hands first.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like if you got a tooth in your mouth, like you gonna be the aggressor first. Like,
I got the grills.
Hey, truth remains. I've seen you throw quarters at a taxi cab.
Old batteries. We're not wasting money.
Either way.
Wait till
I'll tell the story.
Wait till I tell you.
I'm gonna tell the
ABC
story
show.
about how Jade's rage. So one day,
this is
Jade
so
and I
long
were
ago.
driving.
It's so long ago. So do not message me. I don't want no unsolicited advice about how crazy niggas are. Like, this is a long time ago.
Jade is driving. We on 14th Street, and to be fair, this cab driver was wilding with a capital D.
Because I don't fucking start fights.
Yeah.
Except for with the sanitation.
Like he cut Jade off. Like, we literally could have gotten an accident. Like, it was really bad. And then so Jade's cursing him out over, and he's like, "Fuck you!" And I was like, "Oh shit, here we go." So then Jade begins to chase him down Broadway, and then throw batteries at him.
Because who are you talking
and
to?
everything out of her little change thing.
Like, who are you? Like, it's like the bitch from New Hampshire. The other, like, you are literally blocking the whole street trying to parallel park a smart car. Mm-hmm. Bitch, like, you don't need to be driving. So my window's down. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Her window's down. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, about to get out the car and whoop a bitch from New Hampshire. Who the fuck are you talking to? Like, who are you talking to? Get your shit together, bitch. You can't drive a toy car. Oh my God. Have you ever seen Beef? I just started watching it. Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, well, who?
You know, I love Ali Wong in the fine Asian, that Steven, whatever his name is. But yeah.
Oh, he is handsome.
Mm-hmm. I forget his name. He be at other stuff, but yes.
You know that's not his real name. His parents just gave him that when he came to America. And then he says it too.
Listen, anybody who is not American born, American ready, I assume that they have changed their name to assimilate into American culture.
Yeah, it was a story behind it though. It wasn't just that. You know, we know many Tammys, but like there was a story behind his Steven. Anyway, Rudy Huxtable mushes his mother because she's had a fucking enough. And honestly, like, that was one of them few situations where I might have thrown hands first too. Truth be told, because I've had enough of his mother. And they get real, like, they're actually fighting. They're actually fighting.
Yeah.
We get a lot of shit talking on this show. We rarely get, niggas getting active. And for it to be her and his mom, this is going to be, we're opening up hot.
I know. It was a great episode.
They came in with the heat. That's why they gave us that shitty ass finale of Love After Lockup, because they knew they was about to come with the heat.
They did. They knew. So yes, that was today's episode. If you're looking for future Love and Life After Lockup recaps, they'll be on our Patreon. $9.99 to join. And you get more, and where that came from. So we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Or on the Patreon every day, because that's where we are.
Literally.
Yeah, but until next time, friends.
Yes,
bye.
moving on up to